On the one-year anniversary of their first date, Cari Farver sends Dave Kroupa a message, "To my husband."
The email included a photograph of a knife and a note saying that she'd been creeping around in his building.
The stalking at that point was quite apparent that she had been in and around the building.
Dave Kroupa and Liz Golyar have been the focus of Cari's stalking for over a year now. And this has bonded them, but their relationship isn't really serious.
We were seeing each other, but she was doing her thing and I was doing mine.
Dave has actively been trying to meet other women online, but it seems that Cari doesn't want that to happen.
One woman who I never actually met, she spent 5 minutes on my Facebook, and that was all it took. She was a target, threatened to be killed, threatened to have their children killed. It was insanity.
Cari seems to be monitoring his every move and keeping a close eye on his female friends.
In January of 2014, I drove from Sioux Falls to Omaha to visit with Dave. I have known Dave since high school. Dave and I have just always had a special connection. We've always been more than friends.
We were in the living room of the apartment, just chatting old times.
Within a couple of hours, his phone was going crazy.
Apparently, Cari saw her come in. I actually got a text to the effect of, "I see you in there with that whore."
He told me that he was having issues with an ex that was stalking him. A few hours later, we were in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and the next thing I hear sounded like a gunshot to me, which was actually a brick being thrown through the bathroom window. I was in a panic. I didn't know what was happening. Police, they came over and talked to Dave for a few minutes. After the police left, Dave had me get into the car with him, and he said he needed to go check on Liz because Cari had threatened Liz in the past prior to this incident with me.
Despite all this drama, Liz Golyar is not scared off, and she and Dave try to just kind of go on with their lives, even going on a double date with her friend Cherokee.
They were great together, Dave and Liz. They joked around. I know Liz wanted more, but she wasn't that type of person that wasn't gonna push herself onto someone.
The stalking by Cari is this dark cloud in their lives. They've been trying to get help from investigators for more than a year, but nothing puts a stop to the harassment.
And it's not just Dave and Liz that are being harassed.
Dave's ex and the mother of his children, Amy Flora, was also getting threatening messages from Cari, calling her all sorts of names.
I thought Amy was probably going to kill me because she got drug into it. Mentally, it was a huge strain on everybody involved. Nothing was being done about it. The police had dropped it off at some point, so it was just something I had to deal with. Being stalked and harassed was just part of life.
The case had become cold. Detectives Ryan Avis and Jim Doty worked at the Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Office in Council Bluffs.
Neither Avis nor Doty had actually been working on the case of the missing Cari Farver, but they'd been aware of it in the police department.
We'd heard about the case. It was kind of water cooler talk around the office. It intrigued us because it was a single mom who was very into her kid and family, and it just didn't make sense to us that she just vanished.
Is there more to it, and is there something else that we're not seeing? It was something that we were both interested in just talking about it, but we didn't have the case file.
You don't usually go and volunteer for a case, but in this intrigued us enough that we asked, hey, can we take a look at it? See, we put a fresh new look on it.
Doty and Avis asked their superiors if they could take another look at the Cari Farver case. And so they began looking at it from a new angle.
Jim's gonna work it like she's dead, and I'm gonna work it like she's alive. I'm gonna try and prove every which way I can that Cari is still alive and is out there, and Jim's gonna try and prove every which way that she is not. Cari's checking account had no activity. It's not normal for adults to just up and leave and literally spend no money, no one's seen them, and no one's heard their voice. It just didn't make sense.
And one of the things about these text messages, they don't look like they're written by Cari. They're filled with spelling errors and grammatical errors. And her mother said Cari never would have sent messages like that.
Detectives Doty and Avis were aware that Cari had been diagnosed as bipolar, but they didn't think it had anything to do with why she went missing.
How many people in the world are bipolar and they don't just go missing for no reason, whether they take their meds or don't take their meds?
And life had been good for Cari Farver. In fact, it had never been better.
She had a good income, a good house. I had come to the conclusion that I could not prove she was actually alive.
This is a turning point in this because they start to contemplate the idea, could it be that she's actually been dead this entire time? So if Cari Farver was dead, what happened to her after she left Dave's apartment on that early morning 2 years before?
The decision made by Doty and Avis to reopen the case would be a true turning point.
If not for Detectives Doty and Avis, chances are this case would never have been solved.
They smelled a big fish, a big problem, something really weird.
This investigation is about to take a left-hand turn that nobody saw coming, that is mind-boggling.
Everything you thought you knew was a lie.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.